Hi there, Fat Cap Chef here, and today I'm going to show you how to make meringue. So let's have a look. What do we need? We've got a bowl. I've got my whisk here. Obviously, if you've got one of those great big ones, you can set that up, but this is just a hand whisk. I've got caster sugar. I've got 4 ounces, thereabouts, about 120 grams of caster sugar. Same of icing sugar. Here, you know, if you don't want to use icing sugar, you can just use all caster sugar, so that's about 8 ounces. In total, around 240 grams. I've got 4 large eggs, and I've got a sieve. You don't need that if you're not using the icing sugar. And I've got a bowl here for my egg yolks. So key to this is about egg whites. So we need to separate the white from the yolk. There's a couple of ways we can do that. It's got my egg. I'm going to crack it around the middle. What you want to avoid is any eggshell or any yolk going into your meringue. So here we go. So let's take the top off, and then you can see the white coming out, and then you pour the egg yolk in. There we go, passing it between the 2 halves of the shell. Like this. Get most of it off, which I've got. And now I'll just put the yolk into this bowl completely separate. Okay, another method is to, again, crack your egg, take the top off, and you can pass it through your fingers. So you pour the egg into your hand, and the yolk will sit there and the white will pass through your fingers. And there we go. So there's 2 different ways of doing it. My hands are a bit mucky now, so I'll continue doing it this way. Top off, so you're actually breaking it around the middle of the actual shell. Now what you'll also end up with here is you'll end up with egg yolks. You're not going to use them as part of your meringue. Now you could keep those and use them in an all yolk omelette. Or you could do what I'm going to do, which is in another recipe which will be on here, which is I'm going to create some homemade mayonnaise using the egg yolks. There we go. 4 eggs. No yolk, no shell, quick wash your hands. And now I'm going to, on the medium speed, I'm going to beat these to soft peaks. So in we go, a bit noisy, don't worry, it shouldn't take too long. Oh, power on's always helpful. This won't take too long to do. So they're already starting to froth up. Almost there. So basically when they hold in soft peaks, that you're going to move on to the next step of incorporating the sugar into the meringue. There we go, pour here. Speed it up a little bit. So, so it's now fairly firm, and I'm going to start adding the sugar, and you add just a little bit at a time. So I'm going to add some castor sugar in here, and then I will come back once I've incorporated the sugar, so about a tablespoon at a time until it's incorporated, and then we'll be back. Okay, so that's taken about 5 minutes. If you were doing the 8 ounces of this, then it would take you probably about 10 minutes to incorporate it all. But we just want to check it actually is incorporated. All you do is you take a little bit between your fingers and thumb, and if you feel it, it should feel smooth. If it still feels grainy, that means that your icing sugar, as your caster sugar, is not fully mixed in, so give it a little bit more to make that work. Now, because I'm using the one that will give you a slightly richer texture, slightly more sumptuous, I'm now doing the icing sugar. It's almost a mug of icing sugar, slightly more than obviously in volume terms, but it's the same weight. So I'm going to put about a third of this in. This will take nowhere near as long to incorporate because the icing sugar doesn't have that granular texture of sugar. So just give it a push through on the sieve. There we go. Okay, so now back in with the beaters, and we'll continue to incorporate that. So I'll be back once I've incorporated the next 2 lots. Okay, so it's now done. It's all incorporated, and what you end up with is a lovely, shiny, glossy, smooth, as is the grain between the finger and thumb test, meringue. So I've then got my tray that's got some this baking powder, then baking paper lined, so it's grease proof. I'm then just going to use a spoon to help me to tip out. And you can do this, you can just take a spoonful like this and just create a lovely little individual meringue. Or I'm going to make a pavlova, so I want a bigger base. So I'm going to put a nice big pile of the meringue here. You can do any shape you like and make it roughly into a circle just by swirling around the outside, and some more on top. I've preheated my oven to gas mark 1, which is around about 130 centigrade, and it's then going in the oven with the timer. It's going to go for an hour and 15 minutes if you want it a little bit chewy in the middle, or it's going to go for about an hour and 30 minutes if you want it fully crisp through. So effectively what you're doing is you're drying out the meringue in a lovely slow and controlled way. So I'm going to add some more here. And then we'll pop it in the oven, and we'll be back to see what it looks like. Okay, so these have now come out of the oven. They've been in for about an hour and a half. You see they've got lovely little cracks in them with character, nice and shiny. And to tell if they're done, just so you tap on them, they sound hollow. You get that little knocking noise, which is lovely. Leave these to cool now, and then they're ready to decorate. So my pavlova is going to be more like a volcano. It's not a traditional one where you have a hollow in the middle and you fill it. Mine's going to have the cream on the top, and then it's going to have some strawberries on the sides. So that's how we do them. If you want to know more, just subscribe, and it just means for free you'll get a notification every time I post a video, which is usually 1 to 3 times a week. Or there's the website, www.theflatcapchef.com, and we'll be back soon with some more.